Hi and welcome to another Married to Reselling video. I'm Simon.
I'm Faye.
And together we're a UK reseller couple selling mainly on eBay and Amazon.
Coming up later in the video, we have some sword news for you. But first, I just want to clear something up that's been annoying me. I'm really thankful that no one's probably commented about it. You may have discussed it amongst yourselves. But in all the videos that Simon seems to put out, because he's the editor, my face is bright red. And it drives me mad. I keep saying to him, what are you doing? I do have a slightly red face, but not quite to the extreme that it seems to be in our videos.
It's the light in here. It does it to me as well when I'm walking around. It looks like I'm sunburnt.
Not quite to the extent that mine does.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll try and mess around with the colour, but you know, editing's like, it takes enough time as it is. You might just have to put up with it.
Yeah.
But Faye is not bright red currently. If you could see what she actually looks like right now, she's not bright red. I'll put that photo up as nice and close up.
Oh, thanks. Yes, so let's go and take a look at some sales from right here in the barn.
Okay.
Okay, we are going clock tub.
Yeah.
It's a vintage style mantle clock bookend, brown with Roman numerals.
There are two of these.
Yeah, it's got 5th Avenue written on the clock face. You need to get the right one.
Yes.
Or are they both the same? I can't remember why I didn't list them as a pair. I think it's because they're not the same. They're not.
Here's that cat ornament we were talking about recently.
Anyone
if anyone would
buy
like to
this?
buy this, please. New York, 5th Avenue.
Yeah, that's the one.
There it
Okay,
is.
that cost 57p. It sold within 4 months. It was from auction and it sold for £12 plus post. Home. You can see it from here.
Oh, yeah.
Vintage Huntley Palmer's biscuit tin, metal with peacocks and birds on it.
Oh, I'm glad that's gone because I always pick it up whenever I have to go in the home tub.
Yeah, that was 28p. Sold within 2 months for £26.24.
How much? 26.24.
Yeah.
Woo!
Crate 16.
Yeah.
A art glass paperweight, blue, pink, flower.
There she blows.
This cost 10p from auction and sold for £4.99 plus post within 8.5 months.
Yeah, I reduced everything in price that was 2023 and beyond. Basically 2023, so that was our oldest stuff. It was about 140 items. Reduced them right down to like anything from £4.99 up to about £9.99. So if things were like £16, they went to £9.99. If things were a tenner, they went to £4.99, all plus post. And that's one of the first. I don't know if anything else is.
It sold really quick.
Yeah.
Crate 11.
Yeah.
Emma Bridgewater marmalade oranges cereal bowl. This cost less than £1.
70p, we think.
Yeah, and sold for £17.50 within a week from auction.
Yes. Was it Emma?
Emma
Probably can't see
Bridgewater.
that, but there it is anyway.
Crate 6.
Yeah.
Bagley & Co. Osprey green glass tumbler vase. This didn't sold within a month. Cost 28p, sold for £14.99 plus post. We had so many views on this listing and watches, and no one wanted to buy it at £9.99 plus post, so you put the price up and it sold.
Yeah, it was our top watched item. Hundreds of views. Doesn't glow, which is probably the reason it was getting views and not getting bought, I guess. But yeah, I think it was as low as, it was on a coupon at one point at 33% off, so I think it was as low as like £6.67 or whatever plus post, and I did change the load and put it up, £14.99 plus post, sold. Boom.
Where's Pac-Man, babes?
The ironing board in the way.
And why is the ironing board there?
I sort of decided to make a good painting table.
I've covered it in plastic and I'm using it to paint a cupboard door. Okay, this is a Pac-Man board game, retro arcade style, MB Games from 1980.
Lovely condition for 1980.
Oh yeah, did you get it from a charity shop? Yeah, £2.50 you paid, so.
Must be, yeah.
And that sold for £22 within a month, and that is going GSP to Sweden, I think.
Yeah, when I bought it, the reason I bought it was because it was so cheap, because there's so many marbles in here. I thought it's bound to be missing one. Actually had a spare white one, so that's even better. And it's a medium parcel because it's bigger than 45 centimetres, but it's light, so I think it's around £4.69 with Royal Mail, something like that.
Did you keep the spare marble for spares and repairs, or have you given?
No, I put it in, I advertised it.
That's nice.
Yeah, I got. I mean, I don't know if the camera picks up those tubs behind there, but those tubs are all full of spares, tokens, boards, cards, you name it. We've got it. So if you haven't been on our Facebook group and you're looking for spares, join the Facebook group. I'll put it on the screen and pop on what you need. Sort of general board games I have lots of, and so do other people.
We've got these 3 vintage Johnson Brothers Indian Tree teacups going out. They cost a total of 81p for the 3, and because they've been listed since December 23, they have been reduced right down to £5.99 plus post, so they have taken nearly 8 months to sell. This is a vintage Nachman lucite candle with silver flecks. Basically, it's a pretend candle. It's even got a pretend wick. That cost 70p and sold for £19.99 within a week. That was from auction.
Interesting message with that order.
Oh yes, it says, note from buyer, if delivery is done Saturday or Sunday, deliver to number 72. I mean, for God's sake.
Chances are it will be, well, it won't be delivered on a Sunday.
Some big towns get deliveries on Sundays. Well, I'm sure he can walk up to number 72.
What are people like?
Anyway, moving on. We've got this vintage Undina squat vase, pink tortoiseshell, and it's a very beautiful vase. And I got it for a whopping 50p from a charity shop, listed less than a month, and also sold for £19.99. Then we have these HK Living ceramic 70s Americano mugs. They're not from the 70s, but they're called 70s Americano mugs. The brand calls them that, HK Living. So don't get at me, people who think that people put vintage when it's not. These are Yeti Asteroid cups, and they cost 70p for the pair, and they sold for £18 plus post. They're very nice. And if you're interested in nice homeware, HK Living was new to me. It's got some really nice stuff on there. And then we have this antique Japanese Imari plate, which is oval and scalloped and porcelain from the 19th century. Cost 54p from auction, sold within a month for £15.75 plus post. We've got this vintage St Christopher car badge, enamel blue, silver, white, going out today. That cost £2.85. Got it from auction 3 months ago, and it sold for £15.99. Crate 7.
Yes.
Antique booths, old Dutch, wide rim soup bowls, 5 of them. That is those.
Ones?
Yes. They cost a total of 81p from auction, and they sold within 5 months for £16 plus post. A double-sided Impossipuzzle, balls and golf tees. That cost £3, I'm guessing from a charity shop, 8.5 months ago.
Yeah, we had the beans and sprouts one as well, and I originally listed it as a bundle.
Oh, and we gave away the beans and sprouts one on Whatnot.
Oh yeah, so we did. That's why we got this one. I'm really surprised it's taken that long to sell and sold at a very low price,
Yeah,
but it was time to take the offer.
Sold at £5 plus post.
Yeah, it's just crazy because you can't buy that like that, I don't think, anymore. I'm not sure, but you can get the cubes and stuff. But
Yeah. Crate 5.
yeah.
Vintage cold cloth footed teacup and saucer, 3 of them.
The green and brown
Right.
with leaves.
Yeah.
Like that.
That is them. They cost £2.22 from auction, sold within a month and a half for £15.99, and they are going GSP to America.
Okay.
Then we've got Art 63.
Oh, it's a big one.
I can see it. It's not that
Oh,
big.
it's not that big, thank God. Yeah.
Yes. So this is a Vernon Ward Silent Harbour Mevagissey vintage print framed. It's in Cornwall. It's really hard to get a good picture. That was in a job lot. That cost £3.50. It sold for £29.99 plus post within 2 weeks. Then we've got crate 22.
Yeah.
Vintage alabaster eggs, 5 of them. All different colours. There they are. Unless you've got an exotic bird laying exotic looking eggs in here. They cost 28p and they sold for $29.99 within a month and a half.
We had an inquiry about 2-3 weeks ago. Someone wanted just one of them, possibly this one, but you know, I would have sold them one, but it would have been $29. It would have been the same price. I just can rarely be bothered to sort of split up bundles like that, because you know then they're going to want what they're going to want to pay for that. Like a five, they'll be like, oh, there's 5 of them, so that's like £7.50 or whatever. It's just not worth it. So I'm glad to see that sold. The gamble paid off, I guess, because you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot to be said for if someone wants something, just sell it to them. But
yeah,
you know,
the faffing that goes with it sometimes. Okay, crate 3.
Yeah.
A Ivy Lane sugar bowl with lid. We have had this for a long time. It's one of our oldest items.
Is it got 2 handles?
Yeah. It won't be wrapped. It's not. Oh, it is wrapped.
It is wrapped, yeah.
Blimey.
Only not fully though. Only to keep the lid on. So
okay.
possibly an older one.
So it's an Ivy Lane sugar bowl, vintage Celt craft by Noritake, whatever. Noritake.
I'll have to put the recording in.
Yeah.
Noritake.
It cost £1, and that has taken 15 months to sell, and it ended up going for $5.99 plus post, because we've reduced all the really old stuff from 2023 down low. So glad to see the back of that.
Goodbye.
Then we've got clear bubble wrap pouches. In here we have 95 12-inch and 30 some other inch, and they were free, and they sold for £16 plus post, and they sold within a couple of weeks. Then we've got crate 10, Booth's Real Old Willow cup and saucer, a pair of them. Yeah, that's them. They sold within a couple of weeks. They were given to me for free by a fellow reseller, and they sold for $17.99. Then we've got crate 4.
Yep.
Antique Davenport Longport China Imari pattern wide rim bowl.
Well, that's a lot to remember. I'm going to go with this.
That is it. That cost 54p from auction and sold within a couple of weeks for $19.99. And then we've got crate 5.
There's an over here, isn't it?
Yeah. Dalton Bruce Oldfield salad plate ×4.
After our recent Dalton debacle, I made sure that we had everything that we should have, and they were all in the right place.
Well done. They cost £3, and they sold within 3.5 months for $19.99, and they were from either a charity shop or an auction. We've mixed sets together, and
I would say, because I think I saw Sarah Resells pick this up a few months back,
Yeah.
and maybe she was unsure, or I would say it's worth picking up if you can get it cheap enough. It's hit and miss, like the speed of the sale. If you drop your prices, you'll probably sell it a little bit faster, but it is worth. I think next time we pick this up, I'll probably try and avoid dropping prices as quickly, because they've sold for a good price.
they have. I was trying to think what the pieces. I think cups and saucers take a while.
Yeah, we have said it before, and the bigger soup bowls. I think we said the bigger soup bowls as well, but then I think we sold some of those quite cheap reasonably recently, so I'm not sure. So it is worth looking out for. Just make sure you don't pay much.
So, as promised, sword news. 2 weeks ago today, we dropped the swords off at an auction house, one that we weren't familiar with. I looked into sword specialists in the UK, came across this particular auction house, and arranged to drop the swords off for them to be identified, valued, looked at.
Yeah, looked at.
And as I mentioned in a recent video, we were sort of a bit kind of, maybe I was disappointed, I suppose, with the whole experience of dropping them off. It was like a 2-minute thing.
We were a bit underwhelmed.
We were underwhelmed, yes. It wasn't like, oh, hi, welcome, how are you? Have you come from far today? None of that. Just like, can you just sign there? So yeah, it was a bit disappointing. Bearing in mind, we have no idea on the value of these swords. The swords are family friends. We have been asked to sell them because we need to pay for her care. And we had a letter in the post today from this auction house. I mean, talk about snail mail. Who sends letters these days? And there was 2 sheets of paper in it. And one is titled Evaluation Report. And all it says is my name and the date they sent it. and a description, and the description says, we acknowledge receipt of your property, which we will be pleased to include in our December auction as follows. Collection of Militaria, value £900. So that's it. They haven't said, yes, we're going to like drop lot it together, or did you know that there's 10 swords here and this one's a this one's a Napoleon, something or other.
80% of the values in 20% of the swords, or
yeah, nothing.
That sort of thing.
They haven't they've just called it Collection of Militaria, £900. There we go. I folded it like my personal details over, but that is what they've sent. So I'm like looking at that thinking, I've got to relay this back to my mum, because my mum's sort of in charge of all of this lady's belongings, and I've got nothing really to tell her that's exciting. We did have a yellow form included, which is titled Instructions to Proceed with Sale by Auction, and it says, this form is important. Until you return it, we cannot proceed to sell your property, and the resultant delay may mean that you incur storage charges. Once completed, please return this form to our office at the above address. And it's basically asking me to sign it to say that they've got my property and that I wish to proceed with the sale, and that I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions over leaf. And it says that their fee is 17.5% plus VAT of the hammer price. So £900. We don't know how they've got to that. If they pluck that figure out of the air. I mean, they said it could take up to 6 weeks to come back with some information for us, and I thought there'd be a lot more information than what they've supplied. Am I being unrealistic? I mean, you were a bit disappointed as well. This is our first sort of sword experience.
Yeah, we've sold at auction a lot. We know how that works. We buy at auction a lot. Obviously, we know how that works. So we know how the process works. I started to wonder if we'd sort of kind of been hoodwinked. Google kind of shown this place as a sword specialist. You know, is this place actually any better than our local auction house, for example? They do military auctions, as do many. You know, you might do coins. Our local one does like alcohol and mid-century modern, and yeah, also, you know, specialist days, as well as the, you know, in addition to the general auction every week. But I was sort of thinking, you know, are these guys really sort of the people that we were looking for? And they have 6 Militaria auctions. The next one's actually in October, and they're suggesting putting our stuff in December. Now that might be because they've already catalogued everything or whatever. That's fine, but apparently, you know, according to the website, there's this guy there who's like a specialist. He like did his BA in history.
I'll tell you, he did his BA history degree in South Africa and the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879.
But it does say, you know, that's quite niche, but it does say that he's one of the most knowledgeable medal and militaria specialists in the UK. So you sort of read that and you think, well, surely if that's right, why are we just getting a bit of paper that just says collection of militaria? Like, you know, all a bit underwhelming and all a bit disappointing. And ultimately the decision is, you know, do we go ahead with the sale? Or, you know, it's obviously just an estimate, so, and we can put a reserve on it and all that sort of stuff, and if it doesn't sell, we can go and collect it or have it shipped back to us at our
own expense. Yes.
So that's fine, you know, and ultimately the decision isn't ours, it's the acting power of attorneys. But we, you know, the reason we're talking about this now is because we know a number of you were interested in the news about it and enjoyed the video, which I'll link again. I'll put it up here now, that side, and the link will be in the description as well. So have a look, but interested in your thoughts, because when we did our sort of research after making that video back in the spring, a couple of those swords looked pretty interesting. Yeah. And there was some evidence of high value sales for a couple of those.
Yes, because we had some really interesting comments from viewers with telling us more about like some of those individual swords. We
learned way more from your comments than we did from the auction house.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very disappointing, really, I think. So
one of the things I did say to you earlier is I'm gonna send him an email. I'm not gonna send him a letter. I'm gonna send him an email and sort of kind of maybe, I mean, what do you think I should say in this email? Because I am disappointed. We're both disappointed. My mum's disappointed. she's also underwhelmed.
One thing Faye's mum did say was that she doesn't think that they'd have spent a lot of money on this stuff. But
The original owners.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean to say that it's not worth a bit now.
That's what I said, because she watches the Antiques Roadshow, and I said, Mum, people buy things for £1 from a car boot, and they're worth loads. So.
I mean, for sure there is some interesting stuff. For sure, you know, there's 10 swords, so £900, £100 a sword. Now I'm pretty sure, well, you know, £90 a sword. It's not my maths failing me. I was just rounding it up. But I'm pretty sure that I'd seen, you know, a couple of those swords sell for like 3 into 4 figures. Certainly that's kind of what it was looking like. Not like tens of thousands of pounds or anything like that, but certainly more than £900. And as I said, I've already said it, and Faith said it as well, it's only an estimate, but I think it's a pretty disappointing estimate.
Yeah, so I think I need to put together a strongly worded email, sort of asking for more information. And do you have any tips on what I should put in this email? What would you ask? Are we being too demanding for expecting more information, other than it being just called Collection of Militaria? Is it Militaria or is it Militaria?
I mean, ultimately Militaria, but you know, ultimately they've said, you know, pleased to include in our December auction as follows, Collection of Militaria. Well, what about, you know, it doesn't even say swords, it doesn't say how many there are. To me it appears like they're asking us to sign off on that description.
Yeah.
Which is really poor.
This could not even be for us. They could have got our name wrong and got the stock mixed up. Because back in the day, when I did history in like year 9, I got a really bad grade. I mean, I was probably due a bad grade anyway, but my teacher had like run his finger down the list, looked for my name, looked at my grade and written it in my report, but he'd gone skew-whiff and given me someone else's grade. And my mum was like, are you sure? So my parents contacted him, and it was still bad, but not that bad. So this person could have done exactly the same thing. Ours could be worth like £5 grand.
Yeah, they put the wrong number in. Yeah, maybe it was meant to say £9,000.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we'd be very, very interested in anyone, if you can take the time to pop a comment in this video with your thoughts. Doesn't matter whether you know anything about swords or not. What you know, what's your gut feeling about this? Because
we know nothing about swords. This is all new.
Are we asking too much, as Faye said? Yeah, we don't know anything about swords. You know, we don't want to come over as like spoiled brats, like, or anything like that. But we're just wondering, you know, does this seem right? I feel that if you drop 10 swords to an auction house, maybe you kind of would expect a little bit more. Particularly some of these swords were like 200 years old or something, weren't they?
Yeah. Luna's not happy about it either.
Right, we'll wrap it up there. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and if you can comment, we really appreciate that too. We read all the comments. I usually reply to most, or we usually reply to most. If not, we just give it a heart and you know that we've read it. Just couldn't think of anything interesting to reply. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate that too, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.